Jon Shefsky here, and welcome to Fantasy House, the world's #1 make-believe real estate podcast. I love doing this show because every week we get to go on a guided tour through a different person's imaginary dream home. They're always pushing the limits with mind-blowing houses. There's weird technologies, there's magic, there's unique rooms and appliances, and just good old-fashioned creativity and silliness. In Nathan Hurd's episode, his house has a zero-gravity room. So you just go in the room, flip a switch, and bam, you're floating around. So cool. Jade Catapretta, she's got a lazy river with sexualized dolphins. You'll have to listen to her episode if you want to find out more about that. Fifi Dosh has a private hot tub on top of a private mountain in her backyard. John and Tom from Chad Goes Deep, their fantasy house is a cloud that they can take anywhere, like an RV in the sky. Nick the plumber has a live studio audience. So when he's with his family and he drops the punchline to one of his dad jokes, he gets a real applause. My homegirl Joelberg Jimenez. Oh, Joel loves to cook, but he hates to clean up. So his kitchen washes itself from top to bottom. Genius. In episode 94, Mike Ishak's kitchen is just a portal to his aunt's Indonesian kitchen, so he can have a ringdang anytime he wants. Ringdang. I'll tell you what, if it's half as delicious as it is fun to say, ringdang. Ringdang. Jeremiah Watkins' Halloween episode, he had a bathroom with a mummy toilet paper dispenser. So when it was time to wipe, you just unwrap the mummy. Nat Baymel doesn't even have a bathroom in his fantasy house. He simply has a wizard that appears anytime you need to go, and the wizard just makes your bowel empty. Makes your poop disappear. Poof. Actually, it's more like poop poof. Fantasy House Podcast is NSFW. It's not safe for work. Although we're very Mr. Rogers creatively, it's more of an adult Mr. Rogers. So it's raw, it's honest. We talk about sex, drugs, people's bathroom habits, and sometimes people take us to dark places. We're all about authenticity, and my goal with the show is to reignite that carefree, playful spirit that many of us had when we were 4 and 5 years old. You know, just that fearless exploring of our imaginations and ourselves. And I'm super, super excited for you to come along on this journey with us. Every episode is brought to you by me, Jon Shefsky. I am your local Southern California realtor. Not just a fantasy realtor. No, a really real realtor. And I would love to help you with anything real estate related, whether you're thinking about buying a house, selling a house, maybe you're interested in why I love multifamily apartment buildings, any of that. I would love to be of service. And if you're thinking, John, I don't care about real estate at all, that's great. But I know you know someone who does. And you got to let them know. You got to say, hey, before you go making any moves, you got to talk to my boy, Jon Shefsky. He's a really real realtor, and he would love to be of service. And I really would. And even if you're not in SoCal, I can still help you because I have a referral network all over the country with some fantastic agents, and it's growing all the time. So check in with me. Let me know, because I got agents in Nashville, in Chattanooga, Austin, Texas, Boise, Idaho, Phoenix, Arizona. Like, I got you covered. And like I said, that list is just growing. So just think of me when you're thinking of real estate. Be like, I'm going to hit Shefsky up before I do anything. Just send me an email, fantasyhousepodcast@gmail.com. I'd love to be of service or help in any way. Super stoked for my guest today. Omar Nava is here. He's my road dog. He's a comedian that's hilarious. He's a great dude. And we're just going to have a great time. So I'm excited for you guys to come along on this journey with us. So now, in the words of the great Angelo Bowers, let us do this.
What's up, Shefsky?
Oh, living the pandy,
living the pandy with these nuts.
These nuts in the pandy, these nuts in the pandy. Oh, dude. So what's up, man? How are you?
I'm cool, man. Also pandying. We got a dog during the pandy, and we love her. She's cute, and she keeps us sane because that's the only reason we go out for fresh air and exercise is to walk.
Take her for walks?
Yeah. Because she can't poop in the bathroom where we can. So if we didn't have her, we would just stay in here and just poop in the bathroom and then eat food and then poop, and just the circle of life,
Yeah. Eat food and poop, and hopefully not mix any of those things up and get it wrong. Because, right?
I've been there.
Right? Ron Burgundy. I will not eat cat poop. How have they not invented something, though, to make it so that dogs can just go to the bathroom that we use? Like, you would think by now, since man's best friend has been with us for so long, that it would just be like you buy a house with a toilet in it and then something else for dogs.
Yeah, there should be. I mean, I guess they have those like mats that you put down, but that's just, I guess, for pee, for potty. Yeah. I think the people at Squatty Potty need to come up with something. The puppy pooper or something.
That's quick marketing, dude. The puppy pooper.
Yeah, the puppy pooper, and just, I don't know, like an attachment onto the toilet seat that your dog would just, and have a little like dog Playboy magazine so they could read, or Playgirl, or Playgirl's 2020,
or just a dog cell phone that they can check their dog emails on.
Right. Yeah. Check their stocks and their
check out what their Bitcoin's worth while they're taking their doggy dumps.
Yeah,
that's it. The doggy dumper.
The doggy dumper.
Taking some doggy dumps, dude.
Doggy dumps, puppy poops.
You think our phone's hearing us say this, and before we know it, like when we get next time we're on Instagram, like every third post is going to be like a sponsored ad by like some sort of some sort of dog poop thing.
Yeah, Amazon's like, you can get this puppy pooper sent for free on Prime.
I think before Amazon had it, it'd be that. What's that one company? Is it like Wayfair or whatever?
Lycos?
Is it Wayfair that's on? It's always like Amazon. It's on Facebook. You always see those ads for like just really silly shit.
Yeah.
You're like, who's buying this and making this? Who, like, don't you have to make like 1,000 of these in order to make it profitable to sell it? And then like, well, who buys this outfit? Like,
they're like the airline Sky Mall of
but
Facebook.
For trash.
Yeah,
but for total Spencer's Gifts trash. Like, this is a good idea.
Yeah, exactly.
Like a tuxedo made out of bubble wrap, and you're like, they sell that? What? And they do.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to ask you this, dude. What if you basically got the call tomorrow and you get to be king for the day? What would you do for the whole world?
I think I would educate everyone. Hit them with some knowledge, and I would just like do some raps. This
is a video podcast, so people can see how ridiculous.
Yeah. Oh, can they not? I thought you were going to release the video.
I just record audio. I mean, the video is just for us to hang out, so that we can feel like we're not in insane isolation.
Oh man! Well, then why am I wearing this? I just peel off my mustache.
No, put it back on.
I think you look so beautiful.
Yeah.
Well, for those who couldn't see, I was miming like some sick. When the rappers get up to the camera and they like stick their faces and their hands in there, like because they're telling you straight, straight to your ears.
Aggressive.
Yeah. No, I guess I'm just like a huge school advocate for like schooling and education, and I just like feel like if everyone had equal the same access to like education and like higher education as well, that I don't know, it could, I hope that it would and could just alleviate a lot of the problems we're having.
Yeah.
And so I read this, and part of the reason why I chose this, I mean, I've always loved school and stuff, and I was until recently. Ooh, another school fan, huh? Last year I was volunteering with this organization called School on Wheels, and they tutor homeless youth, because when they're homeless, when children are homeless, they just struggle with school more than their peers. So
I assume like anything, like, I mean, it's hard enough under nearly perfect circumstances to. Sorry, but that's my 2-year-old. It's hard enough under nearly perfect circumstances to get, to figure out like what the right way to reach, young people is and to educate them and whatnot. So of course, being homeless, the day-to-day struggles of like hygiene, food, and safety have got to just be, I can't even imagine that they, like, how many kids do go to school, like make it into public school, that are actually homeless and we just don't know it? Like,
Dude, it's a lot. Like, I don't remember the numbers, but yeah, I mean, when they were like kind of giving us, like an orientation, a training, to go about like, signing up to be a volunteer. And yeah, it's just like, and like you said, it's like, it's more than you would think. 'Cause it's these kids that you just, I mean, even probably you and I growing up, we probably see some kids that just like, look like, typical students, and you would never know that they're like in between homes or like living in like someone's garage or something that would like qualify as homeless, because it's like they're not in their homes, or they're like living in a motel or whatever. So it's just it's more than you would think. And yeah, it's like you're saying, like, all the stresses of like food insecurity and just like not having a home, like not having access to like Wi-Fi, like technology and stuff like that. I mean, these things all like are a detriment to their learning lives. And so that would be one thing that I would try to fix. And I read this really cool post, and I read it on social media, so I haven't vetted it. So maybe
it's 100% true.
It's 100% true. But Dolly Parton, national treasure, she just donated all this money to Moderna to get that vaccine so we can end the pandy. But I just read this post that apparently, so in 1990, the high school dropout rate for her hometown was like 34%. Like 1 in 3 kids were dropping out.
Wow.
So she invited all these kids. And then like research has shown that like kids kind of make up their mind like in 5th or 6th grade as to like, whether they want to even finish school or not. Yeah. So she invited all these 5th and 6th graders from her hometown to her like Dollywood, whatever, house, and told them that she just had them partner up, just you and another kid partner up. And she told all of them, like, all right, if you and your partner both graduate, I'll give you $500 check on your graduation day.
Oh, that's awesome.
And then the dropout rate for that class, for those kids that she invited that year, fell to 6%. So from 30-some% to 6%.
Wow.
And then it's like kind of stayed low. So then like that was like she's just doing like these little things, that are localized. But one thing that she did, she founded the Imagination Library in 1995, and the idea being that kids from her rural hometown and low-income families could start. They often start school disadvantaged, like you and I were saying. Like some of these kids just don't have access to some of these resources.
Yeah.
So she started this thing where it's basically like, if the parent enrolls, they mail the children a book once a month from birth until they start school. Until pre-K or whatever.
Yeah.
And that's shown to like, increase their preparedness for kindergarten even. And so that program has now become like all 50 states have adopted it, and like Australia, Canada, and the UK now have these programs where they just like mail books to these, low income families.
That's awesome.
Once a month, so that the kids just have these like this stimulus and like all these access to
there's almost like, there's no like excuse on their parents' part either, right? It's like your book's mailed to you. It's like, sit down, read this book with your kids.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, these are just like, little things. And like a lot of people, of course, rightly so, there's different points on the education timeline that, that need help. Like right now, our incoming president, he wants to help with higher education and possibly make some of it like free, like the community colleges or even public universities. And that would be great as well. But like a lot of this stuff starts way younger.
Yeah.
So like that, I mean, that I read that and I was like, damn, that's awesome. That's so cool and easy. Like you're saying, just get the kids started early reading, get them to pair up. So there's like some sort of accountability. Like, hey, if you graduate, I graduate. Like, yeah, this will be great. We'll make $500.
So awesome. That's what I was thinking too, is you said the accountability part, dude. Imagine like Dolly Parton. You're like, I made a promise to Dolly Parton. Like, you just got to live up to that, man, or you're a fucking asshole. So unless you have a really good excuse.
Yeah. And then it's not only like, oh man, if I drop out, I don't get $500. It's also like, oh, but Ben also won't get the $500 because we got to do it as a pair. Like,
and that's a huge part in even just in adulthood too, is accountability. I mean, for anything business, anything with like teams, creative, like so much of it is like, not just, okay, if I drop out, cool. But then it's like, you're letting your teammate down.
Yeah.
Do you want to let your teammate down? That's a whole different story. So I think it's baked into so much success as accountability, and I try to use it as much as possible in my own life.
So I guess to answer your question, as king, I would hire Dolly Parton as my ambassador to education and have her solve the problem for me.
Genius. Oh, it's great. Yeah. That's so awesome. Okay, let's go to your fantasy house. We got the orange drone flying over, and we're looking around. We want to see what's the geographic location and what are we seeing? What are the shapes and colors of this fantasy house of yours?
Oh, man. Oh, let's see here. When I close my eyes, in my mind's eye,
in my mind's eye, this is my fantasy house. Maybe I should have done that in Dolly's voice.
Yeah.
Can you try it?
Fantasy. I don't know what she sounds like.
That does not sound like Dolly Parton at all. You know what Dolly Parton sounds exactly like what she looks like.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I'm just bad at. Yeah, I'm just bad at impersonations.
Okay, so
right. So my house is, I think my house would be situated in the mountains, some sort of foresty mountain locale, like in Colorado or something, or even like Montana. That would be nice.
Man. Okay. I'm gonna go. I'll go Colorado. I'll go Colorado right now because they're obeying more of the mask rules, so you'll be safer in your fantasy world.
Yeah. All right, great.
Just joking. It has penetrated our imaginations. The virus has gone viral in our imagination. Even in my imaginary fantasy house, the virus is there. It's like, oh yeah, dude, it's everywhere. It's very contagious.
It's like that South Park episode. Our imaginations are running wild.
Oh yeah, dude.
I have to go to Imagination Land.
The 3-part series. Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, it was great.
That was a great episode. And I think they were right what happened too. They're like, it actually did die. We got it nuked.
Yeah. But yeah, so somewhere in the mountains where there's like a nice alpine lake of sorts nearby, a nice creek that you can walk to, just very peaceful and serene, fresh air, plenty of fresh water.
Fresh water. That's what the Omar wants in his fantasy world. Okay.
Yeah. And it's a guy walking, like the guys that walk up and down the bleachers selling peanuts, but he's just selling fresh water here.
He throws it with his bare hands.
He throws it. Yeah.
Splashes the water. Oh, dude. All right, that's great. What's the house itself look like?
Man, I have trouble like picturing like specific details, but I know there's like, I feel like there will be a lot of like chess theme motifs and influences, like maybe parts that look castle-y, that look rookish.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, a little. I don't know. Maybe the like back one of the yards, probably the backyard. I also would like it to be somewhat sustainable. So there'd probably be like, solar panels and all that stuff, but also like living off its own vegetation and like vegetables and like having its own garden and stuff. And maybe that plot of land, it looks like a chessboard, like the way the crops are planted, like alternating squares and stuff.
Oh, dude, yeah, that's cool.
And
so it's like you're walking around in a giant like chessboard kind of castle.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I mean, aside from I guess just like a big castle-y looking mansion, I'm not exactly sure what other. There's got to be a spire in there at some point. Every cool house has like a spire, a nice like lookout tower.
Dude, that's rad. I feel like if you were giving us the tour, we'd have to go up there and look out.
Oh yeah, for sure.
And you'd be like, "This is where I can see everything, John."
Yeah.
Are you chess? Are you like a crazy like lover of chess?
You know what's funny? I used to be like super into chess when I was younger, and then like here in LA, like I've found there are a lot of comedians that
it's
love
a big chess town. You were looking at the map. You're like, should I go to New York or Los Angeles? Yeah. Because everyone's like, oh, LA is a chess town, buddy.
Well, what do you like? Are you checkers or chess? Check. Then you got to go to LA.
Checkers, Delaware. Chess.
LA, baby.
LA. New York, neither. They don't do, actually they probably do more chess in New York than LA, right?
Probably. Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Now I here in LA, there are a few comedians who are like really into it, and so like every now and then I'll play with like, well, not anymore, but Jeff Amaral was really big into it. Like sometimes he would just invite me over just to play chess.
Yep.
But like John Henry used to play chess. Gil plays chess. Peter plays chess. So I don't know, just like we've played here and there, but we just all kind of stopped, and I stopped really playing. But then the Queen's Gambit came out on Netflix, and everyone was like, "You got to watch it." And then I started watching it, and I just remembered how much I used to love chess. Like I used to carry my chessboard and pieces around in like middle school and high school, just like in my backpack.
Yeah.
So that whenever like one of my buddies wanted to play, I could just like bust it out and just get a table and just start playing. And I loved that chessboard too, man. It was like a wooden chessboard. It wasn't one of the folding ones. A lot of people have the folding ones where the chess pieces lie inside. Totally. This is just a straight up board, wouldn't fold, and then the pieces were all wooden pieces. Everyone else's pieces were like the plasticky ones with like the green felt on the bottom. Yeah. But mine were like carved out of wood, and they were like so cool, and everyone like loved my chessboard. They're like, "Man, that's the coolest chessboard I've ever seen, that chess set." And I'm like, "Yeah," and then I lost it.
So is that chess set in your fantasy house? It's got to be there.
Yeah. That chess set is in there somewhere. It's actually probably also in my parents' house somewhere. By lost it, I mean it's probably just like in our garage, but
it's still lost.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah. But it's in the fantasy house in a specific room that I was going to tell you about later. Okay. Or now, I don't know what the order is.
No, you can. It's whatever order you want. So just imagine like you're just giving us me and like a film crew, the Fantasy House film crew, a tour, and like you and I are going to go through your house, and anything that there is that's sensory, we're going to like imaginarily indulge in. So if you're like showing me when we go through the kitchen, like whatever meal is your favorite fantasy meal for showing us, like as if we're filming the episode today,
Yeah.
So that kind of stuff. So we're going to do the things that you show us. If you have a music room or a game room or movie theaters or anything that you would show us, it's like, oh, we're going to do those things. Because imagine like that we'd be filming and we'd be like, all right, well, we're going to hop in that. We're going to hop in your race cars. We're going to play chess. We're going to go swim in your pools and eat in your barbecues. I'm being bitten. I have a cat biting my finger right now. Okay.
That's Shefsky. That's not part of my fantasy house, guys. Just for the listeners, I don't want them to think that
you have a cat biting me.
Cats biting house? Fingers, is like my thing. Yeah, I just have this house. I just have this one room where like cats just bite your fingers, man. It's just call me crazy, but it's really, really relaxing.
I actually love it when my cat Bushi bites my ankles, like when he's trying to get me to play fight. I'll just be sitting there and he'll be like in a friendly way. And I love the way it feels. It hurts, but it's also, and it's like, it'll shock me because it'll be out of nowhere. I'm like thinking of like a rattlesnake's eating me. And I just still love it though. It's like a fun, I don't know what it is. It's just fun. Yeah. That's how I feel.
That's funny. No, so yeah, I would have, so in the house, I guess we're already in the house. And one of the rooms that I envision having in my fantasy house is not quite a gymnasium, but a mental gymnasium.
Yeah. Tell me more. Tell me more, Isla.
In case you haven't found a theme with my love for education and chess, huge nerd. But like this room wouldn't have any like screens. So no TV, no phones, whatever. It's all like old school, I guess, mental stimulation. So it's like there's chessboard, puzzles, board games. There's paper and pen to like write. There's also like art materials for like being like drawing and painting and stuff. There's a typewriter if you wanted to just type out some novels or screenplays. Sorry, I dropped my pen. And well, it's a dual mental gymnasium / library. And the library, or maybe this is just a separate room. I don't really know. But the fantasy house is also going to have this amazing library. Like picture the library from Beauty and the Beast.
Yeah.
Like something like that. Or, well, have you been to
Georgian, like just giant, like you need a ladder to get to the next level.
Yeah. Have you been to, oh God, I don't want to sound pretentious, but have you ever been to Vienna in Austria?
No.
Yeah, man. Just like a dope library. Like I said, visit libraries everywhere I go. I always take pictures and send them to Kylie, and she just like laughs. But like, oh man, I've just always loved libraries. Ever since elementary school, I would like wait for my parents in the library after school's let out, and just like wait there because they would have like activities and stuff to like keep the kids entertained until their parents pick them up. And yeah, man, I was just like, that was like my safe space was the library, just hanging out there.
Do you like how quiet they are too? Like how you can like it's like people aren't. And it's not that stuff's not going on, but like people aren't talking loudly.
Yeah, that's probably part of it. Man, I don't know. I really don't know what specific thing it is. I think it might just be like a I don't know. I don't know what the word is, but just like a thing, not like a.
Dude, I like the smell.
Yeah, smells
like a candle. It's called library.
Yeah, oh, that would be great.
That'd be nice, right?
Yeah.
There's something about a society that has the money and the priority to have libraries too. That's important.
Yeah,
it's like it's a sign of like civilization, right?
Yeah,
like
you can really tell a lot from a city by like how amazing, how great, how much money they put into their library.
Yeah.
Because like they either like are expecting a lot of people to come and like use it and like look at it, or they're just like, yeah, we just have to have one because we're a city.
Yeah, we have to have a library. Like, someone said we needed one. We have one because you said we had to have one. I hate the library. Yeah. I have YouTube. What do I need a library for?
Yeah. But yeah, libraries are great. So my fantasy house would have like a big like Vienna, Austria National Library in the house.
Rad.
Attached to the mental gymnasium.
Is there like a book in this library that you're like, oh yeah, this is like this is a prized possession book, John. You guys got to see this book, or a subject, or some sort of part in the library.
No, not one specific. Not one specific book. No, just kind of books about everything, I guess. I'm not.
So you're not going to like walk us over to like a glass case and be like, right here, this is 50 Shades of Grey, first pressing. You're like, wow, I thought we'd have something ancient, like a scroll.
Yeah. Why are the pages stuck together? Sorry. Yeah, I would walk you over to a glass case and be like, this here is the book from Back to the Future, the sports betting book that Biff stole.
That'd actually be rad. Yeah.
That would be cool. No, it's funny. Like I really love libraries, but like I'm not as avid. Like I like to read as well, but I feel like I'm not as avid a reader as like other people who like really like. There are some people, just like read like 3 books at once and like just constantly have a book. I'm not like that. Like I'll read a few books and then just kind of take a couple months off and then like read another couple.
Those people are just going to be addicted to virtual reality when it comes.
Yeah,
exactly. The same people they're like, I read all the time. It's like, well, when are you actually in this reality? Like, well, I can't. I'm reading these books you see. And it's like, you're going to have a real problem once those face masks become cheap enough. You're going to constantly be on a different journey than what's right in front of us. Not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying.
No. To each his own.
I don't want to judge.
In my glass case, I would have all my old joke notebooks. To be like, oh man, check out this like really homophobic joke I wrote back in 2006 before I knew it was bad.
I know, dude. Oh, dude, yeah, get it. You're gonna get in trouble for stuff you used to write.
Oh yeah,
like,
yeah.
I'm actually a really nice guy. They're like, we don't care.
Like, I've actually learned from my mistakes. Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. You're too white, Omar. They're gonna be like, you're white. You're like, I'm not white. Like, well, they hold up like a card up next to your skin, like you should be this dark, and you can say that. You're like, oh fuck.
Oh, jeez.
They're so strict that even... Did you see what Trey Stewart posted, by the way, speaking of white guys?
Yeah. That was so funny.
That shit was so funny.
That was funny. I also saw someone like commented above it, and it like turned into like a whole argument on like whether it was funny or not.
I know, dude. I think, well, just for our listeners here, it was something along the lines of... It was like... Elliot Page is brave considering like now is like the hardest time to be a white guy or something like that.
Right. Yeah.
And someone tried to get an argument with him about it. And I don't remember what the argument was about, but I thought it was funny because I started to read it. Obviously you could spend all day on internet arguments, but I started to read it and I thought, how is this actually doesn't have anything to do with Ellen Page or Elliot Page. It was just a comment on like white guys in our society. Like it's funny. Like
right,
I'm in all support of people like following their dream, and if your dream is to change genders, or you feel like you were born in the wrong biological gender and your mind is a different gender, like I'm all for people like going whatever direction they need to go on their journey. But at the same time, it's like that. I don't think I'm transphobic for thinking like what my buddy said about like it's a tough time to be a white guy. I'm like, it is. That's a hilarious riff.
Yeah, that was
people love that low hanging fruit of social justice these days, where they're like, I'm going to act like I'm really defending someone. It's like, go out and actually defend a rape victim. Go out and find a way to make yourself useful in the society. But instead, they're like, no, it's much easier for me to just like get into an argument online and be self righteous. Like, oh, you fucking dick.
Yeah.
It's so funny, dude. Oh,
yeah,
Trey,
that was a funny joke.
that is funny. So that we'll have that framed in your library. We'll have that.
Right. Trey's joke embossed on a plaque, and that's the first thing you read when you walk in.
You're like, I'm here to become educated. And like, well, first you just need to laugh. This happened once. Someone said this.
Yeah. Oh man, that'll be funny. But yeah, so that's the mental aspect of the house. But there's also a place to get physically fit. I like exercising, but more specifically, I would have, I guess, almost like a baseball. Probably not a whole field. I don't know that a house would be that big, but I guess it's a fantasy.
You can have whatever you want.
A whole baseball field in the house. Because, dude, it's so crazy. I never cared about baseball, and then after college, I just got really into it. Like, just so into baseball. Like, Reza Riazi?
Yeah. Oh, I love Reza.
Dude, we talk baseball all the time. Like, even in the off season, we'll be like, oh man, did you see the move that the Angels made? Like, oh, they should have picked up like so and so player. Like, oh, that was a stupid thing. Like, oh, it's just like we're acting like GMs. Like, we're managing these teams. Like, we have the money to like make the players or make the teams.
Is it part of like the tribal aspect where it's just like it's fun to have a bond on something like that? Is like, I don't get it with football. I mean, I used to play hockey when I was younger, so I get it with hockey a little bit. I love baseball, but I don't keep up with it. But I know so many people love like fantasy sports, and they love like you're talking about, like you guys are talking about stuff as if you're the GMs. There's something just fun about having that bond with someone, right? Like it's like a reason to laugh with someone and have something in common.
Yeah, and that's actually how I got into it, was fantasy baseball. Like one of my buddies in college, like when we were graduating, he's like, hey, do you guys want to do fantasy baseball as a way to like kind of keep in touch? And we're all like, yeah, sure. But then, I mean, that eventually like faded out. Like people kind of dropped out over the years, which is silly because like it's silly that we needed like a reason to keep in touch when we all just keep in touch anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's how I got into baseball. And then Reza is really into big into fantasy. And that's how I found out that he was into baseball. And so now I don't play in his fantasy league, but I'll just like talk to him about his fantasy league. Yeah. Like, I'll just be like, hey man, who did you draft this year? And just like go over his team with him.
Yeah, it's fun, right? It's like a thing you can just connect on it right away. Yeah.
Yeah. And so there's like some sort of base. And I never played it growing up. So this whole field would be just so that I could learn how to play baseball.
Your fantasy, you're like a rich guy that just came upon billions of dollars. You're like, I'd like to learn how to play baseball. So I had this field made.
Yeah, and it starts with me playing t-ball, like off a tee. Get this whole like major league style stadium built, but it's like, oh, I'm just gonna hit off this tee for now.
A t-ball for an adult. Oh, dude.
What's funny is actually some of the players do hit off a tee for like in their the major leaguers.
Just to practice.
For balls that like get into a certain strike zone, certain quadrants of the strike zone. Yeah. Like if they know like, that they're bad at like hitting balls like low and away, like in that corner of the strike zone, then they'll like just set up the tee and just, practice getting that making contact on the balls in those areas.
Dude, make contact on my balls. That's what I always tell everyone.
Yeah, man. Throw the stick, the baseball bat. Stick balls. Okay, so we're on your field. We're both wearing orange Fantasy House jerseys. We're hitting T-balls together. Let's go to your kitchen. I want a snack. Oh man, I am famished. Yeah, let's go over to my what do I call it? I called it the taco wing. I wrote this down. See, I call it the taco wing. I don't know if you can see it. You did. I saw it. Yeah. So I don't know how I overlooked the taco growing up, but like in my adult life, and mostly just like from living in LA, I've just like come to appreciate the simplicity of the taco. Yeah. And I don't know if you've seen these shows, this show on Netflix, it's called Taco Chronicles.
I know of it because my brother was watching it. Yeah.
Dude. And I just like started watching it because my brother told me about it. And then I just kind of like one day was bored. And so I started.
So both of our brothers were watching it and then told us about it?
Yeah. Our brothers should meet. Should we?
They actually probably know each other already through the Taco Fantasy League that they're in.
Right. Yeah, the Taco Fantasy League.
That's how they keep in touch.
I drafted Carnitas. He's having a monster year this year.
Oh, dude. You know the problem with my franchise? We don't have enough pickled red onions. Okay.
Dude, the series is great because, I mean, tacos, street food, people probably don't give a lot of thought to it. But like when you watch the show and they'll go to these restaurants and talk to these taqueros, these people who are like, this is their life. They talk about it like it's an art form. And like doing comedy or like anything else, like anything can be an art form if you just like, just really passionate about it and like want to like be the best at it. So cool. And so, especially something that's like subjective like that, and so they interview these people and they just talk about like, oh, this recipe, like this is how you got to do it, like in this step, in this process. And, certain meats that have that's like ancient, like dating back to like Aztec or Mayan roots of like how they would prepare the meat, like underground for certain meats and, just certain things.
Dude,
like,
so many
you got to use
indigenous
this
people
kind of wood.
Underground cooking with like special, like weird stuff. They're like, what? They're like, we wrap it in banana leaves, leave it for 2 weeks, come back, you got a taco.
Yeah, exactly. So anyway, so this taco wing would just have like every like stations of like every kind of taco you can think of. And the chef, the master of that craft, helming it and like making it like perfect, exactly the way they envision it and they want you to taste it. It's great.
What would we have right now then if you were showing us around? You're like, and this is the one that I've chosen for us to go have. Who's the chef and what are they making?
Oh man, well I don't know the names of these people, but
typical taco lover.
Yeah, poser.
You exploitive asshole. You're like, I don't know their name. He just makes the tacos.
Yeah. Well, like, I mean, I don't memorize the names, I guess is what I'm saying. Like they go, they interview all these people, but and they interview multiple people. It's not like one person who's
I'm giving you a hard time. You're totally fine.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so
I'm going to cancel you on my own episode. Like, you're canceled, bro. Hashtag.
Yeah, we got him. All right, this is all a ploy. There's not even a podcast.
That's right.
This is getting broadcast. This is actually a Twitter live.
And save. I've downloaded and uploaded the clip of you not knowing who makes your tacos. I told you were white. Exploiting the taco makers, Omar.
Yeah. And Attorney General William Barr. Yeah, we got him.
William Barr. Dude, William Barr, the guy who looks just like Steve Bannon with glasses on.
Yeah, exactly. And a haircut.
Okay.
So the taco, I guess, that I would bring you to would be the taco al pastor, which, for those who don't know, that's the one that's basically on like the upright spit. Mm-hmm. It's called a trompo. They like layer on all this meat. It's like, I believe it's like pork, but like, I don't know. They like alternate with like other things like onions and stuff.
Oh yeah,
and then they just kind of have it like rotisserie style, but like upright, and they coat it with like all the meat has been like, what's the word, like marinating in like, like chili sauce,
super flavored.
Yeah, and then they just like shave it off with a knife onto a tortilla, and then the best taqueros, they have like a little piece of pineapple or mango on the top, and they just like cut it off and flick it. Yeah.
The way they flick it too on like a taco truck, they're like Tacos Leo.
Oh yeah.
They tap it and catch it. Oh
yeah, dude, it's so cool. But so I don't know if you know this. Maybe you do because you're a very well-educated man. You're a man about town. But the
School of Hard Knocks, graduated in still going.
Yeah. Oh man, it's so much debt. These tacos came to Mexico and became popularized from these Lebanese immigrants. Mexico has a huge Lebanese immigrant.
Do they really?
Yeah. A lot of the people from Lebanon like moved to Mexico in like the 1800s and then like put in roots. Like Salma Hayek is part of her heritage is like this Lebanese immigrant Mexicans that now live in Mexico.
Wow.
And they brought the spit.
I was just going to say, because when you see that, when I first saw it, when I moved to LA, I was like, hey, that's what they put shawarma on.
Yeah, exactly.
But
they brought this like kind of shawarma style meat cooking, swapped out I guess typically it's like lamb or goat in the Middle East maybe, and they swapped it with like beef and pork, I think. And they just like adopted it and they were called tacos árabes And in some places, like I think one of the famous restaurants in Puebla is called Los Tacos Árabes or something, Arabic tacos.
They still call it that, yeah.
And now, and so now they're just kind of known as tacos al pastor.
Oh, that's great. Thank you for the lesson on that. It's like we're watching a Netflix documentary. And then now this is what we're having is imaginary tacos al pastor, which is, oh God, I'm craving that right now, dude. That sounds so good.
Then what's great about them is like, usually you eat them like on a smallish, the street tacos are like small tortillas. And so, I mean, you can crush like 10 or 12.
I was just going to ask how many you order, because I'll get like 5 or 6 of them and be like, no, I can do it. I can literally put 5 of those things down.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Easily. Usually, I'll probably order like, if I'm just doing tacos, I'll probably get like 6. But sometimes if I'll go to like a Leo's taco truck or something, I'll usually get like 3 of those, and then maybe like a quesadilla or like a mulita
they do
or
some
something
good
else.
quesadillas too. Oh
yeah,
dude. So only thing that bums me out about taco trucks in LA for some reason, crema and like sour cream is not a popular thing. I think it's harder to store or something like that.
Yeah.
So many of those places like we're like, no, we don't have any. I'm just like, I need that. I'm a white guy. I need it to be doused in sour cream.
I need the closest thing to mayonnaise that I can get.
Just a super needy fucking white little bitch that's just like, can I just get, please? Just make it look like there's mayonnaise on it, or I won't eat it. I can't. Something's got to cut through that spiciness on my little tongue.
Yeah.
So funny, dude. Well, that sounds like a delicious meal. I'm going to gulp down horchata. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Horchata. And then there are a couple other rooms that I wanted to show you in my fantasy house. One is the Dinosaurium.
Dinosaurium.
And that's exactly like it sounds. It's an auditorium. No, I don't know if it's an auditorium. It's basically like a Jurassic Park wing. But you don't die. They don't they don't eat you because
thank you.
By the way, when I was a child, my favorite dinosaurs were the sauropods, which are the long-necked, long-tailed ones, the brontosauruses, the brachiosauruses, the diplodocuses.
They just want salad, dog.
That's all they want. So my dinosaurium is just these grass, plant-eating herbivores just cruising and grazing, and you can slide on their backs if you want, if they let you.
Hell yeah.
And yeah, and I don't know why I was drawn to them, but they were just always my favorites. Never a huge fan of the carnivores, but those herbivores, hell yeah.
That's the quote I want from this episode.
Those herbivores,
so
hell
sweet.
Yeah.
Omar Nava, he's a sweet gentleman. Not a
well, it's just, I feel like it would be real soothing to just watch. Remember that one scene in Jurassic Park where they're like in the tree and they just watch the brachiosauri just like nibbling on the trees and just eating the plants. I feel like there would be something soothing about just watching like a herd of, diplodocus, whatever, just, grazing on trees.
I think that's very sweet. That's the zoo that I'm willing to go to.
Yeah.
Right there.
And now that you're like calm and centered, then we go into the gambling parlor because every man needs his vice.
You've got a gambling, like a lot of chess, libraries, and there's a gambling parlor. All right, let's go. Let's do it.
Yeah. But there's no smoking, and the maximum you can bet is $50. That's
Thank you.
There's no high rollers. Ideally, every bet you place is like $5. It's more for the fun of it than the making. You're not trying to make money. You're not trying to lose money. You're just doing it for fun.
Okay.
And my game is the roulette. Love roulette. I think Gil was the one. We would do this like kind of yearly trip to Vegas. It was Gil, myself, John Henry, Jeremiah, Jeff Amron. We would go just like one weekend a year. For like 3 or 4 years we did it, and it was so fun. And that's when I started playing roulette. Like I saw Gil playing it, and then I just started playing it, and then I kind of came up with my own strategy. And it's so silly. It's like very math based, and Kylie makes fun of me all the time because I'll just go with like $20-$30, like not high rolling at all. I'll find $5 minimum table, go with like $20-$30, and I'll play until I double my money, and then I cash out and I'm done. Or obviously until I lose my money. But like, $20-$30, I'm not like, I'm not dipping into the kids' college fund or anything. So I don't feel bad about it. And like I said, I'm not trying to get rich. I just do it purely for the enjoyment of it. And it'll take me like 2 hours to like double it or lose it. And that's all. And that's all I need. Just 20.
That's smart.
$20, 2 hours to make 40, to cash out with 40, make another $20.
You call home, you're like, I just made $40 in an hour. One time, just 1 hour though.
Yeah.
Can I repeat that 10 times a day? No, but still.
Yeah. Well, you gotta leave before, before you lose it. Because eventually over time, such a nerd, probability wise, like over time, the house will always win. It's set up so that they have the advantage. So over time, if you keep playing long enough, you're going to lose your money. So you have to just like ride the hot streaks until you double your money, and then you just cash out and leave.
This is a really good, updated Omar version of know when to hold 'em, know when to fold 'em.
Exactly.
Just very wordy and just like, you gotta know that you doubled your money or you lost it, and that's just enough. Then don't get greedy and back away, and then go home, and there you go, folks. You got to know when. All right. Classic Kenny Rogers, right?
Yeah, Kenny Rogers, Dolly Parton. It's a big country podcast episode.
Dude, it's always country. It's all country all the time. That's my station.
Wearing the Bloodso's barbecue hat.
Yeah.
Very country.
God,
living in the mountains of Montana or Colorado. Sorry.
That's what I wore. That's what I wore to your Fantasy House episode. Is Colorado country stuff. I actually do have a really good friend of mine who's a fantastic plumber, and he took a plumbing job out in Colorado a couple of years ago. He lives out there, and I have like good realtors out there and everything, dude. So I do have a little bit of a Colorado love. I haven't gone out there to physically visit him yet, but everyone I know that knows him that has says it's amazing. And anyone I know that's out there, just Colorado just seems like, I know people that are transplants from Colorado in SoCal as well. And to me, it's a very similar feeling I get with Canadians. Like if you tell me you're from Colorado, I'm like, oh, you're probably cool, because they just turn out to be cool people in general. I'm not saying there's not going to be a couple Colorasholes, as we call them, but
Colorascals,
Canadiatars and Colorasholes. But in general, man, like when you find out that someone's from there, you're like, oh, you're probably pretty. They usually turn out to be like stand-up human beings, you know?
Yeah. Colorado is definitely like one of the states where, like you said, you just kind of assume they're good people.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah, man. So I don't know. I guess those are all the, like, I mean, of course there's a washroom, there's a bathroom, but I haven't really thought too much about it. They're just kind of standard.
You could be taking a shit anywhere. You won't even know the difference. Nothing we need to write home about.
Yeah. It's just a porta potty.
Yeah, you have a gorgeous mansion with all this stuff, and you're just like, a porta potty.
Yeah, where's the bathroom? Oh, it's outside in that blue hut.
Oh, dude. No, I love it, dude. It's been a great Fantasy House, man. I really appreciate the tour through it. And
yeah, well, thanks for coming. Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, dude.
And thanks for the housewarming gift. I don't know where I'm going to put all these wheels of cheese, but I'll find a place for them.
I appreciate you telling our guests about the wheels of cheese I brought. The wheel and the cheese keeps on stuffing your stomach in Colorado. Because you can also, the wheels of cheese can be doubled as chess pieces, and you can use them on your board too.
That's
for fun.
True. Yeah. Or if someone wants to play checkers, you can use the wheels as the checker pieces because they're flat. Yeah.
You need a giant Connect 4 game as well in the backyard.
Just this giant apparatus that flips the ground vertical.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Hell yeah. Where do you want listeners to find you? What's your number one plug for yourself?
I guess I'm active on Twitter and Instagram, and it's the same handle. So even if you mess up, forget which one, it's the same. It's at Omar X Nava. I have no middle name. The X was just kind of made up. But yeah, at Omar X Nava. I'll post some musings and some silly thoughts on there. So if you guys wanna laugh or not laugh and judge me, then you can do that there. This guy thought this was funny.
I promise you, Novar is Novar. He's also a new vaccine. Novar. Omar is hilarious, and you're gonna have fun if you go to his Instagram and join up for his stuff. And once comedy starts back up again, seeing Omar live will be
true. Wait, when does this go out? Because I have a show on Sunday on Zoom. If this goes out in time,
I'll put it out. What is it? Time is it right now? What is it? We got Friday.
Yeah, Friday the 4th.
I'll put it out. I'll put it out tomorrow. That way, maybe somebody will watch Zoom from this.
All right. Well, no rush. But if people hear this before December 6th, 7 p.m. Pacific time, I'm going to be on a Zoom comedy show December 6th, 7 p.m. Pacific time.
So how do they get to the Zoom? What's the quickest route to get if a listener's here, like just to click on something?
I guess through my Instagram, I'll post link or
Okay.
Twitter, Instagram or Twitter. I'll post the link and everything so they can join in.
All right, guys. So go to Omar X Nava for his middle name, which he doesn't like to talk about, Xanatham, like the gum. Omar, OMARNAVA. So OMARXNAVA
Yep.
is his handle. Go there, go check it out if you're listening to this before Sunday, December 6th. All right, guys. Thanks for listening, guys. Hit the subscribe button if this is your first time.
Smash
Give us a
that
rev-
subscribe
Yeah,
button.
smoosh it. Smoosh it. You know, everyone always says smash the like button or whatever on YouTube.
Yeah.
I call my Bushi, my cat Smooshy Bushi. So I was thinking it'd be fun, like for my channel to like do like a Batman thing with like a spinning head, you know, like they used to do with the bat symbol, like the 60s Batman, but do it with Bushi's face. It'd be like smoosh the like button. So guys, smoosh the subscribe button and give us a review. Whatever review you think we deserve. We're living in the review economy. I've heard people say it's like if someone looks at Fantasy House and they're scrolling through it, if it's got enough reviews, it instills confidence and people go, oh, let's check out this podcast. So do us a favor, hit the review button, give us a review, and hit the share button. It means so much to me. We've gotten new listeners, and I've actually met new people through that I've been able to help through real estate of just people hitting share buttons and saying like, hey, talk to my boy Jon Shefsky. Check out my boy Jon Shefsky's podcast, Fantasy House, whatever it is. Like, I really appreciate it. So to those of you that have already done it, thank you so much. And to those of you that haven't done it yet, I would really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Check out Omar's show on Sunday. I'm going to release this episode tomorrow so that you guys can hear it.
Yes, please.
Check it out. Thanks for being here, dude.
Yeah, dude. Thanks for having me. It was a lot of fun.
Hell yeah. Colorado, eating them tacos. #blessed guest. Mwah!